Halloween 2018 is going to be unquestionably one of the most interesting movies to come within the Halloween franchise, and here today I wanted to go on ahead and share my thoughts as to how I feel personally going forward after Halloween 2018. Now, for one, everyone already knows by now that John Carpenter is developing the score for Halloween 2018, and of course with that going forward, the man is old, the man has done his time with carrying Halloween on his back, and I personally believe that this is going to be the final time we see John Carpenter involved in any sort of Halloween film. Now, does this mean that Halloween as a franchise is going to die? No, and quite frankly, franchises like this never die off to begin with, and I can point out some examples such as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, Chucky, movies of that nature, even stemming back to Nosferatu, Dracula, The Wolfman, creatures and franchises of that nature. Now, going forward after Halloween 2018, from what it looks like already, it's going to be slated as the final confrontation between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. But what does that mean going forward and pertains to Laurie Strode's daughter? For all we know, and it's not confirmed, Laurie Strode may officially be killed off by Michael Myers in this film, potentially setting up more movies to come involving her daughter and Michael Myers in the future, but that all depends on the overall direction of the film itself. Now, this puts two things into question. Number one, is Michael going to be mortal? And two, are they going to be related in some way, shape, or form? Because let's say, for example, if they are related and Michael Myers does end up officially killing Laurie Strode, unlike how we saw in Halloween Resurrection, what happens with his daughter? Of course, with Michael having to know the fact that she's related to Laurie Strode, I think the story can only stem further in Michael having to pursue her next. However, if they're not really related, then there is no moral sense and justice of Michael having to pursue Laurie Strode's daughter, as there is no sole purpose of him doing that to begin with. However, this puts into question the mortality of Michael Myers. If in fact he is mortal, then we could possibly see Michael Myers either A, is severely injured by the end of the movie but still continues to carry on, or B, he could possibly die off, ending the Halloween franchise as a whole. Now, it was actually noted by the directors and producers that this is sort of an alternative what-if story. Of course, it stems off the original, and it doesn't really count the others within its main continuity. However, John even himself pointed out this is kind of a hypothetical, sort of like a what-if scenario carrying over 40 years later and seeing what the outcome would have been if they went in a different direction. Keep in mind, John wasn't really too fond of the continuations that followed after Halloween 1, so for all we know, in the far, far future, for every fan out there wondering, we could eventually get a Halloween 9 if there comes a point in time where a director comes on forward and wants to either buy out the rights or obtain the rights for him to make another movie. For case in point here, we see how the rights are obtained by the right people, of course, but they're doing an alternative story, whereas in the future, someone may come along, buy the rights, and continue the franchise after the original continuity. However, I want to talk about Laurie Strode in this film, as I don't believe personally that Jamie Lee Curtis actually has another run in her after this is all said and done, because we can't really have some sort of a twist happen to where Laurie gets the best of Michael and then somehow by the very end she notices that Michael is now miraculously gone, as was in the first film. I don't know if they want to go in that direction, as I personally don't think Laurie has it within her to essentially return for another film, as I do believe the character itself may be killed off, but then again, that all varies on the director's vision as to what they want to do. But of course, I want to get your thoughts down below as to how you guys feel about the movie having to have some sort of a quote-unquote final confrontation between both Laurie and Michael, if they're gonna have their definitive one-on-one, if in fact we're gonna see, you know, one of them die, or maybe if anything both of them die off, and somehow continuing the franchise after that with her daughter. I do believe that Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie Strode's daughter, is going to have a huge impact going forward, and I also want to point out the idea that if this movie does great in the box office, you can bet your ass that they're going to be doing more Halloween films in the future, because at the end of the day, money is what makes the world turn, and I do personally feel that with the success of certain films, it's one of the reasons as to why we saw many films continue on forward when they should have ended off within the first or second run that the movie had to begin with. So I personally think that we are going to see a definitive closed chapter between the two characters. I think that if anything, one of them is bound to die, and I personally feel it's going to be Jamie Lee Curtis's character. As for Michael, if you're gonna keep the mortality factor, it kind of takes away a lot going forward in the future, because what made Michael so special, not just within the horror community, but within all of cinema, was the fact that we didn't really know what the boogeyman was. He was a supernatural force of nature. I mean, we saw people throw literally everything at him, and he kept coming back for more. And now that we're in the month of December, we have quite some time until the movie is supposed to be released, with more information dropping, as I have been posting previous videos on Halloween on the channel, so make sure you guys go back and check that out. I personally think that Laurie Strode's character is going to be finished. As for Michael, I think that he's going to be severely injured, if anything, but I do think that by the very end, he is going to be coming after her daughter, as I do think that the movie is going to make a lot of money, and thus setting up for another movie. So let me know what you guys think down below in terms of the mortality factor, in terms of what you guys think is going to happen in the future. I wanted to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas, a happy holiday season. I hope you guys enjoyed. We have about 10 more months until the movie comes out, so make sure you guys keep your eyes and ears peeled on the channel, as we are going to be doing several videos in the future alongside several collabs, so make sure you guys come back for more. Don't forget to punch that subscribe button, guys. Tune back in for more if you guys enjoyed and cannot wait for the next Halloween film. Go ahead and slap a like down below, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comments, guys. Take it easy. Peace.